Everything around us is full of sounds, deafening and overwhelming noise. It is then when we realize that silence is a precious commodity. Beyond a simple absence of sound, silence is a space for introspection, connection, and transformation. Silence has the power to transform our lives, giving us clarity, peace, and connection. Your silence can speak louder than words and give you the calm to dominate the chaos around you. Let's delve together into the art of silence, a concept so powerful but so underrated in our noisy and hectic world. It's frustrating to think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by gossip, insulted for no reason, or unfairly criticized, isn't it? Now imagine handling those moments with such calm composure that you not only emerge unscathed, but stronger, more dignified, and at peace. It's not just about staying silent, it's about harnessing the power of silence as a strategic response, a tool for personal growth, and a path to inner peace. Stoicism teaches us that sometimes the most impactful statement we can make is to simply not react to let our silence say it all. It's about being so firmly rooted in your values and self-esteem that the storms of life cannot shake you. So if you are tired of the endless cycle of reacting, retaliating, and repenting, stay with me today as we explore how to turn your silence into your strength, how to remain stoically in the midst of life's tumults, and how sometimes saying nothing can say it all. Every moment is one more step to master the art of stoic silence and transform your life. Imagine that someone spreads a rumor about you, and it flies from person to person like wildfire. Your name is whispered in the hallways. It is written in the chats, and you are standing there in the eye of the hurricane, feeling that need to jump and correct every misheard word, every exaggerated story. But wait. Stoicism teaches us to take a step back. Why? Because when we get involved with gossip, we give them more energy, more life. Instead, think about the power of silence. By not adding your voice to the cacophony, you are depriving gossip of its very essence. Attention. I am not saying that this is easy. On the contrary, it is very difficult to listen to falsehoods and not fight back. The first thing we think about is defending ourselves, fighting hard against what has been unjustly said, and also against the gossipers and schemers. But consider this, your peace of mind, your inner tranquility, is worth infinitely more than the fleeting satisfaction of correcting a rumor. Stoicism is not about being passive, but about acting with strategy and wisdom. In silence lies a powerful force that allows us to calm down and analyze the situation. Non-reaction is not submission, but an act of control and dominance over our emotions. Remember, the people who really matter to you, those who really know you, will not be carried away by rumors that run against you. You will not be carried away by idle talks, and those who believe in gossip, they are none of your concern. Focus on your actions, your character, your integrity. This is what truly defines you, not the whispers of detractors. So the next time you're tempted to do so, tackle gossip head-on. Take a moment, breathe, remember your stoic armor, embrace the silence, and see the power it gives you. In that silence, you're not only avoiding negativity, but you are rising above it. You are choosing the path of dignity, self-respect, and, ultimately, peace. It's something we've all faced at one time or another. Those harsh words that seem to cut too deeply, that pain that lasts too long, whether in person, online, or even subtly disguised. Insults can shake even the strongest of us. When someone insults you, it often reveals more about their character than yours. Your words are a reflection of your own struggles, insecurities, or even just a momentary lapse of bad judgment. Stoicism teaches us to see this clearly, to separate ourselves from the poison of their words, and find a place of inner strength so deep that those words simply lose their power. But how can we do it? First, recognizing that the only opinion truly capable of defining you is your own. Only you are the captain of your ship, the master of your destiny. When people insult you or spread gossip about you, you have two options. You can retaliate and let those words seep into your core, or you can rise up secure in knowing who you are and the values to which you are attracted. It's not about ignoring or repressing your feelings, it's about acknowledging them, understanding why the insult hurts, and then choosing not to give it the power to disturb your peace. It's about responding, not reacting. Perhaps that response is silence, a simple and powerful silence that says, "Your words do not define me." And remember that Stoicism does not mean that you do not seek support or speak out against abuse. It means that you control what you can, your response, your emotions, your dignity. You don't control what others say, but you can control whether you accept or reject their words internally. Being the victim of insults and falsehoods can be a turbulent experience. However, Stoic philosophy offers us a compass to navigate these turbulent waters with serenity and wisdom. By not reacting to insults, we not only protect ourselves, but also lift our spirits. We become people unfazed by the capricious opinions of others, anchored in a deep and unwavering sense of self-respect and inner tranquility. We will be living a life that is not shaken by outside opinions, but rather anchored in a deep knowledge and security about our worth and integrity. Feeling anger is not the problem. It is a natural response to perceived wrongs or injustice. The real challenge, and where Stoicism comes in, is how we respond to that anger. In this way, imagine anger as a burning fire that, if left unchecked, can consume everything in its path. But if we approach it with the calm, composed mindset of a Stoic, we can contain the fire and use it to illuminate rather than destroy. So how can we do this? Start with a pause. This may seem trivial, but it is incredibly powerful. In that moment of pause, you create a space between the trigger and your response. You give yourself the opportunity to choose how to react instead of being swept away by the tide of anger. Now, in that space, ask yourself, why am I angry? Stoicism teaches us to look beneath the surface. Often our anger arises from a sense of hurt, threat, or injustice, but by understanding its root, we can address the underlying problem more effectively than if we simply lashed out. This is where Stoicism becomes even more interesting. It not only asks us to examine our anger, it invites us to question its validity, whether our perception is accurate, whether we have interpreted the situation correctly. By challenging our assumptions, we might discover that our anger is based on a misunderstanding or a biased perspective. But what if the anger is justified? Stoicism does not say that we should repress it, but rather offers the concept of constructive anger. Yes, believe it or not, we can take advantage of anger, controlling it and turning it constructive. Constructive anger, directed and used for positive change, becomes a tool, not a weapon. It may motivate us to address injustices, stand up for ourselves, or make important changes in our lives. But even righteous anger shouldn't control us. The Stoic philosopher Seneca compared anger to temporary insanity, so while we can recognize our anger and use it constructively, we should not allow it to cloud our judgment or dictate our actions. By practicing these Stoic principles, we do not remain without emotions, we become their masters. We learn to respond to anger with reason, wisdom, and integrity, and in doing so, we not only avoid causing harm to ourselves and others, but we also cultivate inner peace and resilience. When you face unfair criticism, Stoicism encourages you to pause and take a breath. Take a deep breath. This is not about repression. It is about giving yourself a moment to calmly process your emotions and avoid reacting impulsively. Because, let's face it, our gut reaction might be to retaliate or defend ourselves vehemently. Yet Stoicism teaches us that there are immense possibilities to choose our response thoughtfully. Now imagine that someone has just criticized you unfairly. Your initial reaction might be to dive into a dispute to set the record straight. But here's a Stoic twist. Ask yourself if this review is true or if it doesn't define who I am. Remember, your value and self-esteem do not depend on the opinions or judgments of others. Stoicism imparts the wisdom that our identity and integrity remain intact regardless of external evaluation. Next, consider the source of the criticism. Stoicism urges us to reflect on critics, their intentions and perspectives. Often unfair criticism has more to do with the critic's perceptions, insecurities, or internal struggles, not you. By understanding this, you can see criticism for what it really is, a reflection of the critic, not your reflection. And here is the true meaning of Stoicism. It does not mean passivity. If there is a grain of truth in criticism, Even if it is done unfairly, use it as an opportunity to grow. Analyze it objectively and see if there is something valuable that you can learn, something that you can improve. Stoicism encourages us to use every experience, even unpleasant ones, as fodder for personal development. Now let's talk about maintaining peace of mind. Stoicism teaches that tranquility is paramount and should not be easily disturbed by external events, including criticism. By distancing your emotional well-being from the opinions of others, you protect your inner peace from the fluctuating tides of praise and blame. Loss is an inevitable part of our human experience, whether it is losing a loved one or a relationship, a job, or even an aspect of our identity. This is raw, it is real, and it can be deeply painful. But here, in the midst of our pain and sadness, Stoicism offers a beacon of hope and resilience. Stoicism recognizes the pain of loss and does not ask us to repress our pain or pretend it doesn't affect us, but instead offers us a framework to process our loss in a healthier and more constructive way. It reminds us that while we can't control what we lose, we can control how we respond to that loss. Imagine that you have just experienced a significant loss. You feel like the world is crumbling beneath your feet. This is where Stoicism invites you to pause and breathe, inhale deeply, and give yourself permission to feel your emotions, to cry. Remember that your emotions are natural responses, not orders that you can follow or reject. Feel sad, angry, or confused without letting these feelings dictate your actions or affect your future. Now here's a deeply Stoic way to see loss as an opportunity for growth. Every loss, no matter how devastating, brings with it the seeds of new beginnings, new strengths, and new wisdom. Ask yourself, what can this loss teach me? How can you help me grow? This is not about finding immediate answers or positives. It is about opening yourself to the possibility that even in the darkest moments, there is potential for learning and growth. Stoicism also teaches us about non-permanence, reminding us that loss is a natural part of the life cycle. Everything and everyone we hold dear is loaned to us, so to speak. By internalizing this concept, we can learn to appreciate our blessings more deeply as we hold them and release them gracefully when the time comes. Stoicism encourages us to lean on our community during times of loss, share our grief, allow others to support us, and in turn offer our support to those who are grieving. This can be incredibly healing. Remember that being Stoic doesn't mean going it alone. It means being wise and brave enough to connect with others, even in our most vulnerable moments. By embracing Stoicism, we do not diminish our loss or deny our pain, but rather we learn to navigate our pain with dignity. By finding our way back to peace and balance in time, we acknowledge the pain, but we also recognize our ability to bounce back, to find meaning, and continue our journey with renewed strength and wisdom. When faced with injustice, our initial impulse might either react with indignation or despair. These are natural human responses. However, Stoicism invites us to step back and evaluate the situation with clarity and composure. This does not mean that we become indifferent or passive, but that we choose a response that is aligned with our values and principles, not dictated by our impulses. Imagine witnessing or experiencing something unfair. The Stoic response begins with observation and understanding. Ask yourself, what is in my power to change? Stoicism teaches us to focus our efforts on our actions and attitudes, the realms where we have real control. Although we may not be able to rectify every injustice, we can choose not to allow it to diminish our spirit or our commitment to what is happening. Now let's delve into the Stoic approach to fighting injustice. It's about acting with intention and purpose, whether to raise awareness, support those affected, or work towards systemic change. Our actions must be thoughtful, deliberate, and based on our deepest understanding of justice. Stoicism also encourages us to cultivate inner resilience. In the face of injustice, it can be exhausting, discouraging, even soul-crushing. But remember that your inner citadel, your core of Stoic strength, remains intact. You can witness or experience injustice and still maintain your inner peace and integrity. It's not about turning a blind eye. It's about not letting external chaos interrupt your inner harmony. Furthermore, Stoicism reminds us of the power of community and shared humanity. Injustice often isolates us and makes us feel alone in our struggle, but remember, we are part of a larger human tapestry. Connecting with caring others and harnessing collective strength and wisdom can be deeply empowering. By taking a Stoic approach to injustice, we find a balanced path forward, acting not out of impulsive anger or desperation, but from a place of measured, principled strength. We acknowledge our emotions without letting them overwhelm us. We focus on what we can do, no matter how small, to contribute to justice and equity. When faced with ignorance, our first reaction might be to argue that it is right or wrong. Even belittling the other person's point of view and wanting to fix things is natural. However, Stoicism invites us to pause and approach the situation differently. Instead of seeing ignorance as a battle to be won, see it as an opportunity to practice patience, empathy, and understanding. Imagine you are in a discussion and someone presents a perspective that is not only different, but blatantly uninformed. The Stoic approach first truly listens. Try to understand where this person is coming from, what experiences or fears might be shaping their views. By listening carefully, you are not endorsing their ignorance. You are simply giving yourself the space to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Then ask yourself if this is a moment to teach or a moment to learn. Sometimes the most Stoic response is to offer information gently and respectfully, without expectations or attachment to the outcome. Other times it might be more productive to ask questions, to learn why they have these views, or even reflect on what this encounter is teaching you. It's about patience and humility, but what if the ignorance you face is harmful or dangerous? Stoicism does not ask us to be passive in the face of injustice or misinformation. In these situations, you can still take a stand and express your concerns or provide correct information. The key is to do it with composure, not let anger or frustration take control. Stoicism also reminds us that we must choose our battles wisely. Not all ignorant statements need to be corrected. Sometimes the most elegant and effective response is to simply walk away, conserving your energy for more fruitful discussions or actions. And remember, navigating the seas of ignorance is not just about dealing with others, but also about confronting our own blind spots. Stoicism teaches us to be lifelong learners, always open to expanding our understanding and challenging our assumptions. When someone boasts that they often seek validation or admiration from those around them, this need for external approval may arise from insecurity or a desire to be seen as successful in the eyes of others. Stoicism teaches us to empathize with this need without getting carried away by it. Remember that true value and satisfaction come from within, not from external praise or recognition. Now imagine that you are in a situation where boasts are flying at high speed. The Stoic approach is not to be small or confrontational, but to listen silently and reflect internally by choosing silence. You are not giving in to the competitive impulse to outdo the reinforcer or validate their need for attention. You stay true to your values. You focus on your own path and your sense of self-worth. This silence is far from passive. It is an active and powerful choice. It says a lot about your confidence and self-assurance. It shows that you don't need to join the chorus of congratulations to feel confident in your achievements or your worth. Additionally, this silence allows you to observe, learn about others, and perhaps understand what drives their need to boast. But what if the boasting becomes too much and turns into arrogance or even falsehood? Here, Stoicism advises us to weigh our response carefully. If a response is necessary, it should be measured kindly and rooted in truth, not driven by a desire to deflate or humiliate us. Embracing silence in the face of boasting also offers an opportunity for self-reflection, to examine our reactions and ask ourselves why boasting affects us. Do we feel insecure, incompetent, or ignored? By understanding our emotions, we can address our own needs and insecurities more effectively than engaging in a battle of egos. By practicing Stoic silence in the midst of boasting, we cultivate inner peace, humility, and a deep-rooted confidence that does not depend on external validation. We learn to appreciate our own value without needing to convey it, and we offer others the space to express themselves even if their way doesn't resonate with us. Imagine you hear a rumor about yourself, something false perhaps, even harmful. The Stoic response is not to rush into the fray fighting the rumor. Instead, you pause, breathe, and remember that your worth is not determined by the words of others. By choosing silence, you are not admitting defeat, you are rising above the fray, conserving your energy and keeping the peace. This silence is not about inaction or passivity, it is a powerful and conscious choice. It's about knowing when to speak and when to let your actions and characters speak for themselves. Many times, rumors lose their power when they are not given the oxygen of attention. In the tranquility of your silence, the truth can eventually come to the surface without your intervention. But what about the impact of these rumors? Won't silence be seen as an admission? This is where Stoicism offers profound wisdom. It teaches us that those who know us and truly understand our character will not be swayed by what others may say. And for those who are quick to believe the worst, their opinions were never under our control to begin with. Furthermore, this Stoic silence gives us an opportunity for introspection, allowing us to look inward to strengthen our inner citadel against the slings and arrows of misinformation. In this space of reflection, we can find clarity, strength, and even a deeper sense of who we are and what we represent. By practicing the Stoic art of silence amid rumors, we also cultivate resilience, learning to navigate the choppy waters of public opinion with grace, to anchor ourselves in our truth and move through the world with the confidence that no rumor can shake. As we conclude our journey today, remember that silence is not just a lack of noise, it is a source of strength, a testimony to your inner strength. In those moments when you choose silence over words, you embrace the deep wisdom of Stoicism, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and serenity. Silence, more than an absence of sound, is a powerful tool. It is not limited to the simple absence of noise. It is an active force that we can use in moments of conflict or tension. It allows us to calm down, analyze the situation, and respond wisely. It invites us to introspection, to reflect on our emotions, thoughts, and experiences, promoting self-knowledge and maturity. Silence calms our mind, connects us with our inner being, and leads us to a state of deep calm and well-being. Now I invite you to continue this journey of growth and self-discovery. Let us delve into the wisdom of Stoicism and cultivate together a life of tranquility, purpose, and lasting strength. Thank you for joining me on this path of discovery and growth. I hope this chapter is a source of light that empowers your life and thinking. Remember that you are not just a spectator. You are an essential part of this community, and we want to hear about your experiences. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, give us a like and continue with us. Together we will walk the path of learning and growth within the powerful and timeless wisdom of Stoicism.